Hi, future doctors. Welcome to the next class. In this class, we will discuss about gravitational gravitational potential energy. So, very important for NEET point of view. So, gravitational potential energy. So, every energy, already we said so many times, every energy we will derive from work done. The amount of work done to do, the amount of work done to do, who will do work done means always work done will be done by force. So, in work energy power we discussed, work done is equal to force into displacement. So, how we are going to do means here, so this is planet, mass of the planet, radius of the planet. If you are bringing an object from R1 to R1 to R2 distance. So from A to B. A is at a distance from center, I am saying. From center, small r1 distance. B is at a distance R2. We are bringing an object of mass m from R1 to R2. The amount of work done to bring from one position to another position. Now, what is the distance from O to A, O to B, and O to some point in between? I am taking this one as C. That is going to be R. Here R is changing. R is changing from R1 to R2. Correct? Because we have to apply integration method. So what is the work done formula means? Normally dW is equal to F into dr we will write. Otherwise W is equal to F into S bar we will write. Here distance is changing, therefore R is changing. So at this point, see what is the gravitational force between this mass and mass of this Earth or planet means. So, what is the gravitational force now? F is equal to Gmm by r square. This force we will substitute here and we will do integration between r1 to r2 because r is changing from r1 to r2. So, integral dx is x. Therefore, integral dw is w. Next, integral r1 to r2. So, f is Gmm by r square dr. So, Gmm is constant, write it outside. Integral r1 to r2. So, r power minus 2 dr. So, what is integral x power n dx we said? So, x power n plus 1 by n plus 1. Therefore, Gmm r power minus 2 plus 1 by minus 2 plus 1 between the limits r1 to r2. So, Gmm, so r power minus 1 by minus between the limits r1 to r2. Minus 1 into this one. So, minus Gmm. Okay. So, 1 by r between the limits r1 to r2. So, minus Gmm 1 by r2 minus 1 by r1. So, this is nothing but work done. This work done only will be stored as potential energy. So, potential energy will take mgh, that is different. Okay, this is gravitational potential energy, the amount of work done by external force, that is nothing but gravitational force. How that mgh came also we will see. So, minus Gmm into 1 by R2 minus 1 by R1. If this R1 is at infinity, if you are bringing from infinite distance, if R1 is going to be infinity. So, how this potential energy or work done will be coming means, so U is equal to W is equal to minus Gmm by 1 by R2 minus 1 by infinity. If this R2 is going to be R up to this point you are bringing, then minus Gmm by 1 by R. So finally you got one point. What is that one means? That point is only important for us. So just we have derived how that equation came. So for NEET point of view, this derivation is not required. But whenever we are solving problems, why we are writing this formula, you should come to know. Somewhere in between, you may apply this formula in between. And second year also, you will apply this formula so many times. Therefore, just we have done. Now, gravitational potential energy U is equal to minus GMM by R. So, what is the meaning of this equation? Means if mass of the planet is going to be capital M, radius of the planet is going to be capital R. So, if you are standing at this position, your mass is small m, then what is your gravitational potential energy means? So, U is equal to minus GMM by capital R. So, if you are standing here at some height, small h, then what is the gravitational potential energy means? E is equal to U is equal to minus GMM by, so what is the total distance? R plus h. If that one only we are taking it as small r, minus GMM by small r. See here, now point C is at a distance small r. So you got final equation minus GMM by r. So everyone who is on the surface of the earth or any planet, so they are under the influence of this gravitational force. So they are under the influence of this potential energy. This much energy is going to act on the person or object, so which is available on the earth surface, which is under the influence of gravitational force. So if you want to move from there, so you have to apply this much amount of energy. What is this negative sign indicates means, so this is going to be always attractive. It is going to be attracted towards the center of the planet or earth. So gravitational potential energy means you should remember this equation. So one is mass of this object, another one is mass of this object. Mass of this object means planet, mass of this given object, and separation between those. Now if we are taking two masses, let us assume at your home, so one bucket is there, mass m1, so one TV is there, mass m2, both are separated by distance r. Then what is the gravitational potential energy between these two means minus g m1 m2 by r. So this is the gravitational potential energy form. So if two masses m1 and m2 separated by distance r, gravitational potential energy is minus gm1 m2 by r. Now what is the gravitational force we said? F is equal to gm1 m2 by r square. Between these two, one relation will be there, force and energy. In work energy power lesson we discussed. F is equal to, so minus du by dr. Did you remember? Negative potential energy gradient, we are calling it as force. So in gravitational force is conservative force. So there we discussed in work energy power, F is equal to minus du by dr. So if you substitute this u here, you will get force. This force we are going to get. So we will cross check. F is equal to minus d by dr of minus g m1 m2 by r. Correct? What is the derivative of this? What is the derivative of this means? Minus d by dr of gm1 m2 common, gm1 m2 r power minus 1. So minus d by dr minus gm1 m2, so minus 1 into r power minus 1 minus 1. Correct? So once you do it, derivative, directly you don't need to write this. Then finally what you got? So minus into minus plus gm1 m2 r power minus 2. If you are sending to denominator, minus gm1 m2 by r square. So this formula you got. But why you got minus sign here means? So minus sign is gravitational force is which force? It is going to be always attractive. It is going to be saying. So this is about how you are getting relation between force and energy. Therefore, they will write F is equal to minus du by dr. So here also, so in gravitational potential energy, always you will get minus sign. You should write minus sign for gravitational potential energy. So if you are taking three masses, m, m, m. Separated by distance, small a, small a, small a. Now, what is the gravitational potential energy for these three mass particles? They are going to ask. So, for that, first we will see these two. Next, we will see these two. Next, we will see these two. So, first between A and B, gravitational potential energy between A and B minus GMM by A. That is nothing but minus GMS square by A. Between B and C, so that is also minus GMM by A, minus GMS square by A. So between C and A, minus GMM by A. It is going to be minus GMS square by A. Now total gravitational potential energy, you have to add all this minus 3 GMS square by A. So like this, you have to do. So next, they may give M2, M3. At the time, you have to change these masses. So if two masses separated by some distance, so gravitational potential energy. So generally they will be getting questions like this. Mass of the planet, radius of the planet, an object of mass small m, it is at a distance small r. Otherwise they will give height from the surface. Whether they are giving height from the surface or this object is center of the planet. At the time, gravitational potential energy is minus gmm by small r, so minus gmm by r plus h. Very, very important formula. So, in final exam also, so 2 years back, so many times they have asked questions on this gravitational potential energy equation. So, in this class, what we have discussed in the main formula is this one only. You should remember this formula like this and this formula like this, minus gm1 m2 by r square. You should not forget minus. Okay.